Laudetur Jesus Christus. Praised be Jesus Christ. And a warm welcome to all of you joining us for this live broadcast. These images are coming to you live from St. Peter's Square on this Sunday, the 18th Sunday in Ordinary Time. In just a few moments, Pope Francis will come to the window of the Apostolic Palace and greet us and pray the traditional Angelus at noon. From wherever you're joining us, and whatever time you're joining us, I would like to welcome you to this live broadcast. We know some of you tune in through the various Vatican media channels, through the Vatican News app or the Radio Vaticana app. Some of you also tuning in through our Vatican News web portal, our YouTube channel, or our Facebook Live feed. And some of you are tuning in through television, brought to you by our media partners, Catholic TV, Catholic Faith Network, Shalom World Television Networks, Salt and Light Media, EWTN, Shalom TV in India, and at Madarshan TV. Others are joining us through radio. We have some tuning in through Radio Maria in England and Luminous Radio, and we know others are joining through our own shortwave broadcast or through other diocesan or local radio stations picking up this broadcast, or through other internet portals or other social media platforms throughout the world. Welcome to you all. We now join the hundreds down in St. Peter's Square on this hot end of July day, looking up to that window where our Holy Father will soon come. Many of them had been taking cover under the shade before moving to the center of the sunny square. Now, our Holy Father this past week was traveling in Canada, so there was no Angelus from St. Peter's Square last week. Instead, he prayed the Angelus with his entourage and journalists who were traveling with him by plane to Canada. It's been a week in which he participated in what he called a penitential pilgrimage. He met primarily with members of Canada's Indigenous peoples, representatives from the First Nations, from the Métis and Inuit nations. And on each stop along the way, he consistently asked pardon for what members of the church had done to them personally, because there are still some who went to the residential schools. And now we see our Holy Father coming to the window right now.
Cari fratelli e sorelle.
Dear brothers and sisters, buongiorno. Good afternoon. In the Gospel of today's liturgy, a man makes this request of Jesus. Teacher, tell my brother to divide the inheritance with me. This is a very common situation. Similar problems are still commonplace. How many brothers and sisters, how many members of the same family, unfortunately quarrel, and perhaps they never speak again because of the inheritance. Responding to the man, Jesus does not enter into the particulars, but goes to the root of the divisions caused by the possession of things. And he says clearly, be on your guard against all covetousness. Be on your guard against all covetousness. What is covetousness? It is the unbridled greed for possessions, always desiring to be rich. This is an illness that destroys people because the hunger for possessions creates an addiction. And above all, those who have a lot are never content. They always want more and only for themselves. But this way, the person is no longer free. He or she is attached to a slave of what paradoxically was meant to serve them so as to live freely and serenely. Rather than being served by money, the person becomes a servant of money. Covetousness is a dangerous illness for society as well. Due to covetousness, we have today reached other paradoxes. An injustice never before seen in history, where few have so much and so many have little or nothing. Let's consider wars and conflicts as well. The lust for resources and wealth are almost always behind them. How many interests are behind war? And certainly one of these is the arms trade. This trade is a scandal that we must never surrender to. Today, Jesus teaches us that at the heart of all this are not only some who are powerful or certain economic systems. At the center is covetousness that is in everyone's heart. And so let us try to ask ourselves, where am I at with my detachment from possessions, from wealth? Do I complain about what I lack? Or do I know how to be content with what I have? In the name of money or opportunity, am I tempted to sacrifice relationships and time for others? And again, does it happen that I sacrifice legality and honesty on the altar of covetousness? I said altar, the altar of covetousness. Now, why did I say altar? Because material goods, money, riches can become a cult, a true and proper idolatry. And this is why Jesus warns us with strong words. He says that you cannot serve two masters. And let's be careful. He does not say God and the devil, no. Or even the good and the bad, no. But he says God and wealth. We would expect that he says you can't serve two masters, God and the devil. No. God and wealth. That wealth be at our service, yes. To serve wealth, no. That is idolatry, that is an offense to God. And so, we might think that no one should desire to get rich. Certainly you can. Rather, it's right to want it. It is beautiful to become rich, but rich according to God. God is the richest of anyone. He is rich in compassion, in mercy. His riches do not impoverish anyone, do not create quarrels and divisions. It is a richness that knows how to give, to distribute, to share. Brothers and sisters, accumulating material goods is not enough to live well. For Jesus says again that life does not consist in what one possesses. It depends instead on good relationships with God, with others, and even with those who have less. So, let us ask ourselves, for myself, how do I want to get rich? According to God? Do I want to get rich according to God or according to my covetousness? And returning to the topic of inheritance, what legacy do I want to leave? Money in the bank, material things, or happy people around me, good works that are not forgotten, people that I have helped to grow and mature. May Our Lady help us understand what the true goods of life are, the ones that last forever.
Angelus Domini nunciavit Mariae.
Et concedit Spiritus Sancto.
Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tui mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus.
Sancta Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostre. Amen.
Ecce ancilla Domini.
Fiat mi secundum verbum tuum.
Ave Maria, grazia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tui mulieribus et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus.
Sancta Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostre. Amen.
Et verbum caro factum est.
Et habitavit in nobis.
Ave Maria, grazia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tui mulieribus et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus.
Sancta Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostre. Amen.
Ora pro nobis, Santa Dei Genitris.
Ut digni efficiamur promissionibus Christi.
Grazie in Tua, in questo Domine, mentibus nostris infunde, ut che Angelo annunziante, Christi Fili Tui, incarnazione coniovimus, per passione meius et crucem, a resurrezione gloriam perducamur, per Christum Dominum nostrum.
Amen.
Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto.
Sic ut erat in principio et nunc et semper et in saecula saeculorum. Amen.
Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto.
Sic ut erat in principio et nunc et semper et in saecula saeculorum. Amen.
Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto.
Sic ut erat in principio et nunc et semper et in saecula saeculorum. Amen.
Pro fidelibus defuntis requiem aeternam dona eis Domine.
Et lux perpetua luceat eis.
Requiescant in pace.
Amen.
Sit nomen Domini benedictum.
Ex hoc nunc et usque in saeculum.
Aiutorium nostrum in nomine Domini.
Qui fecit caelum et terram.
Benedicat vos, omnipotens Deus, Pater et Filius et Spiritus Sanctus. Amen. Cari fratelli e
Dear
sorelle,
brothers and sisters,
ieri mattina sono rientrato
yesterday
a Roma
morning I
dopo il
came back to
viaggio di
Rome
6 giorni
after
in Canada.
a 6-day trip to Canada.
Intenzione di parlarne
I had the intention of
nell'udienza generale del
speaking
mercoledì
about it in the
prossimo. Ma ora
general
desidero
audience of Wednesday, but
ringraziare tutti
right now I'd like to thank all of those who made this pilgrimage, penitential pilgrimage possible, beginning with the civil authorities, the chiefs of the indigenous peoples, and the Canadian bishops. I heartfully thank all those who accompanied me with their prayers. Thank you to everyone. During the journey as well, I never stopped praying for the Ukrainian people, asking God to free them from the scourge of war. That if we could objectively see the harm that's being done daily by this population, but also around the world, the only reasonable thing to do would be to stop and negotiate. That speeches might turn to peace. I'd like to greet all of you from Roman and pilgrims, especially the Daughters of Mary, Help of Christians, especially those making the first profession, and a group of Catholic Action of Barletta, young people from the Diocese of Verona. The young people from a group, there they are, another group who they've been taking a walk on the feast of Saint Ignatius of Loyola. I greet my fellow Jesuits. Continue to walk, zealously walk, joyously walk in the service of the Lord. Be courageous. And I wish all of you a blessed Sunday. Please do not forget to pray for me. Enjoy your meal, and we'll see each other again. Arrivederci. The final words of our Holy Father on this 18th Sunday of Ordinary Time. And here we now bring to an end this live broadcast of the recitation of the Noonday Angelus with Pope Francis from here in St. Peter's Square. I invite you to visit the Vatican News web portal, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube accounts for coverage of today's Angelus and other Vatican and world news. We'll be back on Wednesday. As you heard, our Holy Father will recap his trip to Canada that begins around 9 o'clock in the morning, Rome time. On behalf of Vatican Media, I'd like to thank our audio technician, Mario Scaton, and our coordinator, Father Felipe Herrera, who've made this broadcast possible, and especially our media partners for bringing this broadcast to you: Catholic TV, Catholic Faith Network, Shalom World TV, Salt and Light Media, EWTN, Shalom TV in India, at Madarshan TV, as well as Radio Maria in England and Luminous Radio. I hope you all enjoy your Sunday. Laudetur Jesus Christus. Praised be Jesus Christ.
In this video, we are going to discuss praying the entire rosary. Many people don't know this, but for the longest time, and when it was originally introduced, the rosary was considered to be all the mysteries, and these were often broken up throughout the day. In his famous book, The Secret of the Rosary, St. Louis de Montfort encourages the reader to pray the entire rosary every day. That is to say, 3 rosaries each of 5 decades. Back then, there were only